Tatooine. Let's see, we also have Karth. This guy is probably done. I wonder if you could help me. I want you to have anything more to say about yourself, Zelbar. You have seen more than I would have allowed, and taught me some things too. I am grateful for that. It will be a while before I know what my role will be in making Kashyyyk truly free. I have a lot to learn. Why did you request to take Baka's sword? I'm not sure. I really know. Father expects much of me. I guess I do as well. I think when I've learned enough, I'll bring it back to Kashyyyk. What happens then? We'll see. I'm sorry we can't stay on Kashyyyk longer. You and I have important things to do, and I don't feel bad about leaving this time. I know I'll be welcome back. I wish you well. Let's get going. So I'm pretty sure that one's cleaned up too. Let's go and talk to Karth. Well, let's pinch your bum.
How can I help?
I want to talk about what happened between us.
We've already been over this. It was a moment of weakness, a stumble brought on by unbridled passions. But my emotions are firmly in check once more. We need to stay focused on stopping Darth Malak, and I want the others to stay focused as well. I don't want them to get suspicious and start gossiping about our little encounter. So until our mission is over, we need to act with discretion. We shouldn't speak of this anymore. Not until Malak is defeated.
Alright, and I have a feeling that is quite the end of that line of discussion.
Yes, what's on your mind?
Tell me why you want revenge on Saul so badly.
I already told you, he betrayed us all.
It just seems to be, well, let's try this again. It just seems to be more personal than that, is all.
Well, there is more to it. I'm sure you don't want to hear about it.
I asked, didn't I? Oh, I do, if that's alright with you.
It's just that I don't talk about it very much, okay? I told you about my homeworld, Telos. 4 years ago, Saul led the Sith fleet there and demanded its surrender. The planet refused, and Saul proceeded to devastate its entire surface. Millions died. I had a wife and a son on Telos. I thought they would be safe there, but my task force arrived too late to be of much help. We didn't have enough medical supplies. The colony was burning, and the dying were everywhere. I remember holding my wife and screaming for the medics, but they didn't come in time.
That's terrible. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Of course not. How could you? I had nothing left after that, really. I devoted myself to the fleet. Hunting Saul was my only purpose. I miss them. And I know killing Saul won't bring them back. And it won't make me happy again, but I have to do it. I don't expect you to understand, but I have to pay him back for what he's done. I have to. It's all I have left.
Ah, I didn't mean to pry. What was she like, your wife? So what? Tough break. You haven't gotten over it yet? Yeah, wuss. So is this where all that anger comes from? What was she like, your wife?
She had courage, and she was stubborn. Could never talk her out of anything once she put her mind to it. And she hated it when I signed back onto the fleet at the start of the war. I had planned on leaving soon, to join her.
So what happened to your son? You didn't say.
His name was Dustil, and I don't know what happened to him. The colony was a complete ruin, and we never found any trace of him. I made inquiries and followed the reports from Telos for years, but I stopped. Anyway, I hope that answers your questions. Let's continue with what we were doing.
Dustil, eh?
Yes, what's on your mind?
Never
You
mind.
got it.
Okay, so that one's cleaned up for now. Now, I do want to go and take a look at the repair bench. As I recall, Zalbar's new sword is upgradable. And the sword we took out of his hand has some upgrades in it. So, let's get rid of this stuff. Assemble. Baka, upgrade. Assemble. And actually, missions vibroblade. Let me do this. There. Mission's unlikely to use her vibroblade. Well, I guess she's not, but I think this What have we got now? 6 to 16, 2 to 12 versus droid is pretty nice. Plus 4 to energy. 19 to 20. I don't know what this is. 19 to 20 times 2. So basically if you roll a 19 or 20 you get double hit. Oh, I see. Well, that's nice. So not only do you get double damage, if you get a critical threat or a critical hit, you also get plus 2 to 12. Wow. Attack modifier plus 4. That's nice. Alright. Let's see what else we got. So I'm tempted to yeah, let's put a yellow one in. No, well, I just want a different colored lightsaber for him so that I'm the only one with a green lightsaber. Okay, let's double check. I have, what is this? This is Opala, which is stun. Was this the one? No, massive criticals. That's pretty nice. Attack bonus plus 1. Okay. You know what? I'm going to leave my lightsaber the way it is, and let's just throw the other 2 remaining crystals. Okay, and armor. That one's full. And now that one is full. And actually that's I think that's a good choice. Canderous is wearing that, right? Or is it Garth? In any case, I think that's a health bonus. Oh, no, it looks like dexterity. Okay, fair enough. And these are Garth, Ordo. You know what? I don't think Zalbar is going to be using his bowcaster. But Ordo will definitely be using his. And anything left I'll just throw back in the bowcaster. Okay. So does that do it? Lightsabers, yes, we're done. Close enough. Now, do we want to try and get through these discussion trees? Well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, what do you...
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had.
And those things are
Except
cool.
Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements.
Right. What was your story?
I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with a basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle.
I didn't think Mandalorians got afraid.
Every new warrior has to fear to understand how to beat it. You must know that. The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below.
You dropped from orbit riding a droid?
The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life.
That's horrible. That was some fight.
I'll never forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now, but I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
So, I'm assuming, and it would seem this way, that you can't get light or dark points for just chatting with your characters.
Yeah, what do you want?
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
You want another war story, huh? You want to hear about some other world getting wasted, eh? I knew you were the type. Your stagnant republic has never seen some of the strange creatures and races we fought on the Outer Rim in those years. And you never will now.
What do you mean? Where did you fight this time?
If a world isn't strong enough to defend itself, it's basically forfeit. But this story is about something a little different. We were going through the asteroid fields of the Crispin system at the very edge of the galaxy, playing with the pirates and smugglers we found there. The main belt in the Crispin system consists of mainly small rocks covered in frozen methane gas shells, and the pirates were using them for cover. Ha! I remember using a thermal generator to cause the outer layer of one of the asteroids to vaporize in a picosecond. It blew out and shredded the 3 smugglers using it for cover. But that was a mistake.
Why? What happened? Oh, come on. The whole asteroid field exploded, of course.
The asteroid I had targeted was smaller than most, maybe a dozen meters on a side. On the outside, it looked the same as any other, just a ball covered in frozen gas. But something must have been inside it, something inactive, in the cold. The heat of my blast might have triggered something, or woken something up. After I'd hit it, spots of light and heat appeared all over the thin shell, still covering it, evaporating the gases. What lay underneath looked like some sort of rocky growth. A deformed rock, pitted by scores of micrometeorite scars. I think something even older might have been inside that.
An asteroid?
Maybe, but maybe not. It started rotating faster and faster as we watched it. After a second, it started spraying fire, thermal projectiles that melted our armor like wax. We were caught completely by surprise. Before we could counterattack, it fled at an incredible speed.
A ship?
We couldn't catch it, but we could follow its hyperspace wake. We followed its trail as far as we could, heading away from the galactic core. When it finally led beyond the edge of our galaxy, we abandoned our efforts. Anything that wants to commit suicide in that great void is not worth our trouble trying to catch. That's the only story I have for now. I'll tell you some more stuff later if we get the chance. Is there something else you want to know?
Well, that was unexpected. I haven't heard that story in the past either.
Your choice.
Well, let's see if we can keep this going.
Yeah, what do you want?
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
I don't have as many strange stories like the last one I told you, but I do have a couple about me and the stuff I've done. In one battle above the world of Althir, my unit managed to defeat a force of Althiri 10 times our own size. That battle gained me command of an entire subsect of my clan.
Tell me the story.
For 5 days, they had managed to hold off our forces, keeping us to the outer rings of their world, preventing us from attacking it directly. My task was to assault one of their flanks with a false attack. The Althiri would be drawn out by the units I had sent in. Once they had surrounded those units, the bulk of my forces would attack from the rear and defeat them in detail.
Ah, did it work?
Things didn't go as I had planned. I saw an opening, a mistake they had made in the disposition of their forces, and took it. While fending off our main force, they had let their fleet split in 2. The center of their entire fleet was left exposed. I turned my forces and assaulted the center of their fleet, decimating them.
You were a great warrior, Canderous. Let's go with this one. What did they do?
Their slow, ponderous ship could not turn to face us without being overwhelmed. The command vessels were destroyed in seconds. Their ranks were thrown into chaos. It was amusing to watch the surviving ships scatter and flee. Several even tried to dive through the plane of the rings to escape us. They were shredded by the rings, or crashed into rocks, or were destroyed by our forces as we pursued them. Warriors do not flee from a battle if they are losing. They fight to the end, as we did against your Jedi Revan. Another time, maybe, I'll tell you about how the war with the Republic went. For now, let's just get on with things. Is there something else you want to know?
Nothing more for now.
Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Well, I think I will leave this discussion and continue it in the next set of videos. I must have hundreds of gigabytes of Fraps files sitting on my hard drive by now. So with that, I will say I thank you for watching, I thank you for listening, and I encourage you to leave comments, suggestions, or infantile abuse. I promise I read it all. And if you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel or give me the thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm thinking of just uploading all of these videos in one huge go, so that should be interesting. Anyway, we'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.